All set then for another must-win game for England in this Women's Ashes series, but they are still alive in the series thanks to that win at the Oval a few days ago. Brilliant evening, 20,000 people there. We expect a similar crowd at Lord's tonight. And Alex Hartley, it's one of those games where England, now they've got over the hump, if you like, of beating Australia. You just feel another win, and they've got to win them all, let's not forget, or potentially a rained-off game. They could then win the rest of them and they could win the Ashes. But they've got that little bit of momentum, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they do. They've always had the belief that they could beat Australia. They've had the belief that they're a better side than they have been previously, and the gap is getting smaller and smaller. It used to be a huge gulf between the two sides, or it has been for the last 5 or 6 years or so. But yeah, the girls will be feeling confident after their second win, or the second game, their first win of the series. It was do or die for England, wasn't it? You know, you lose that T20 game and Australia, they retain the Ashes and it's all over. So England, they've kept themselves alive. It would take something remarkable. It would be a remarkable turnaround for England to win the Ashes. T20 cricket, anything can happen. But the way England played that second T20 compared to the first was played with, they were tentative. They weren't aggressive. And then the second T20 they played like they play against every other team in the world. It's just Australia have that psychological advantage over England. So if England can go out tonight and play in the same way they did at the Oval, they have a huge chance of equaling, then the point, would be 6-4 and going into the ODIs.
And the way that it works, the Women's Ashes series, is the Test match is worth 4 points. Each of the white ball games is worth 2 points. Australia won the Test match and then they won the first T20 as well. That meant that they only needed to win one more game left in the series, so it was do or die for England. But they played well in the Test. They played well in the first T20 at Edgbaston as well, and it's felt like England have been pretty close until they then got that win to really prove that they are.
Yeah, it's been much like the men's Ashes, hasn't it, where the results could quite easily be flipped the other way. The result of the Test match, if you're just looking at the result, it looks like a heavy defeat, but it didn't feel like that. England felt close. And then that second T20, England didn't get enough. The first T20, England didn't get enough runs on the board, but they fought with the ball. And then the second one was just a brilliant game of cricket, and England managed to get over the line. So they'll be feeling confident. The one thing I don't want them to do is get giddy. I don't want them to get complacent. Australia are an incredibly strong side. They are the best white ball team in the world. They don't lose games of cricket. So Australia, they will bounce back and they'll come back hard. England just have to be proactive.
You know this England side well, of course you do, and a lot of friends in that team. Do you sense there's a little bit of giddiness? Is that something that worries you?
No, I don't think so. I think the way they've handled themselves throughout this Ashes series, I think, has been, it's been brilliant. The way they've lost and they've then gone, this is the style of cricket we want to play. We're getting there. We're rebuilding. It's typical. We've been saying it for years, but give this England side one more year and they'll be so much better than they are now. I would hope they're not going to get giddy, because I think Captain Heather Knight knows how strong Australia are. But it's the younger girls that haven't experienced Australia time and time again, beating them time and time again. They could have that sense of, it's not that bad. Maybe we can beat Australia, which actually could be a good thing.
They've just got to be very aware of the fact that Australia are expected to win this Ashes series, and not to let, I suppose, that the potential, that spectre of not winning it, be too much for them, because there have been England sides in the past where it's felt that losing the Ashes has been utterly crushing. But I haven't quite got that vibe. It's almost been like, well, we know they're really, really good and we're going to absolutely fight, and we know that we may get beaten.
Yeah, they've got a new head coach, and they've got this new style of cricket. They want to be entertaining, they want to be aggressive, and they want to take the game forward, which is what we've seen throughout this Ashes series so far. Results, they matter. Of course they matter. But when you're playing against Australia, you have to concentrate on yourselves and not them. So if England don't win the Ashes, which probably will happen, I think they'll look at certain games that they've played in certain situations and look at how much they've improved compared to previous years.
How important is it that they win more than one game? Because the last Ashes series, 2019 in England, they won the final T20 match, and that was seen as a little bit of a consolation. But to win a game mid-series, it has a little bit of a different narrative.
Yeah, it really does, because like we talk about that momentum. So England will take that winning momentum into tonight's T20, and then if they win tonight, they then have the momentum and they have the self-belief going into the ODIs. The ODIs are a different beast when it comes to Australia. You know, they're so good. They've got every World Cup, the Commonwealth Games medal, but you have to take it game by game. You can't look too far forward. So the England girls, they'll be concentrating on tonight and concentrating on themselves. If they play the exact same cricket as they did in that second T20 at the Oval, I have no doubt in my mind they'll win tonight.
Do you think, genuinely, England are favourites if they play that similar standard?
Yeah, I really do. I think it takes one good knock, one other person to get runs alongside Danny Wyatt, who had a brilliant knock in that game at the Oval, and then you've got 200 on the board, and then Australia are under pressure. Australia won the toss, they elected to field. I think runs on the board in T20 can also be a demon in itself, because you've got the runs and you know what you're defending. So it's one of those, isn't it? But I do honestly believe England play that style of cricket that they played the other night, then they have the upper hand going into this T20, even though when you look down that Australia lineup, they are relentless. You've got Beth Mooney averaging, I think it's 50 against England in T20 cricket, opening the batting. England haven't quite found a way of getting her out yet. She hauled out to deep mid-wicket, and England, obviously, it's a little bonus for them. And then you've got the likes of Ash Gardner and Grace Harris, the power hitters coming in the middle. But they're the sort of players that, if they come off, it's brilliant, but they're more likely to get out than they are to come off. So, yeah, I think, you know, we're in for a thriller tonight, whatever happens, if the weather stays away. But, yeah, I do believe England can win.
And what about this Australian side, then? We saw Elise Perry almost win it. She needed 3 sixes from the final 3 balls. First one she didn't get hold of, then she hit 2 sixes, just to sort of underline Australia's strength. They are relentless. And it's almost a sort of thought process of, yes, wickets are important, but also economy in a T20 game is so vital.
Yeah, of course it is, especially when you're defending 190. You know, you've got to get that run rate up and above 10 and 11 as soon as possible, because we know in women's cricket you can probably go at 10 runs and over for 8 overs, but when it's more like 12 overs, it becomes daunting. So then you have to reassess and I guess being aggressive will often bring opportunities. So yeah, England, if they bat first, they've got to try and get up and around 200 if they can. If they get 150 on the board like that first T20, they're going to rely so much on your likes of Sophie Eccleston, the best bowler in the world, to be economical and take wickets.
What about the occasion then, Alex? We've seen in the last 24 hours the spectacular news that all 3 ODIs are sold out: the Ageas Bowl, Bristol and Taunton. You know, grounds that hosted matches in the 2019 World Cup, big venues that are going to be absolutely rocking for these matches, but also the T20s, 20,000 at Edgbaston, then the Oval, and we expect a similar number at Lords. It's been a remarkable few weeks in terms of the support in ground for the women's game.
It has, and it comes as no surprise to me. When it's marketed well and it's marketed properly, people turn up and watch. You know, people haven't turned up to watch England play at Leicester, Derby, Bristol in the past because it's not marketed. You can't find it anywhere. You don't know where they're playing. This Ashes series has been marketed alongside the men's, and it's an Ashes summer. You go and watch the men, you can go and watch the women. You know, the women are in London, the men are in the north. You know, there's Ashes cricket wherever you look, and that's the way it's been. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that people are turning up, and I think it's about time that happened, and I think the ECB now have to market it properly moving forward for every other series.
And you look back to that 2019 series where the first 2 ODIs, the first 2 games of the women's Ashes, both at the same venue, Leicester, which is a great venue for women's cricket, and it has been down the years, but both on weekdays, and it was both, you know, the same venue. You can't expect big crowds, but they've done it differently.
Yeah, they have done it. They've done it fantastically well, and I think actually what we've proven is if we play in those big venues and we play at big grounds and big stadiums, we can fill it. But actually, if you're playing at the smaller grounds, you can only sell 3,000 tickets. You don't have the opportunity to sell more. So the fact that the opportunity there is for people to come is the right thing to do, isn't it? And the fact that we're now playing on proper grounds and proper stadiums, no disrespect to the other ones, because they've been fantastic for women's cricket over the last few years, but it's time for the game to move forward.
It's going to be a great night. Lords will be hosting this 3rd T20 International. England have to win it. It's as simple as that, and that's the story for the rest of the women's Ashes.